Go again?
Yes? Okay.
No, I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you.
you should be good.
This is the Plans and Plat Review Committee meeting for April 13th, 2023. For all of our applicants joining us online, please make sure you remain on mute until it is time for your particular case. Otherwise, need to speak. This will help us to avoid any background noise. The PPRC members here in person, please be sure to speak up so those attending virtually can hear you. We will start with the city's planner or project manager who will provide a brief introduction and then their comments. Once they are completed, I will facilitate going around the room, at which point the other reviewers will provide their comments. The applicants have a brief question, don't hesitate to ask, but if it is something that is going to involve lengthy discussion or follow-up, we ask that you would coordinate with the project manager or the specific plan reviewer directly and schedule some time to have that discussion. This will help us to get through all the cases in a timely manner. Thank you for your cooperation and your understanding. We will first start on the agenda. The first case is Chris.
Good afternoon, everyone. Chris Kimmerly, Urban Design Planner. The first case is the formal site plan review 2205A. This is a component of the Transit Village site plan, and it is specifically for the replat of the Transit Village property at 134 Clearwater Drive. Zoning doesn't really have any comment beyond just a clarification question. During the site plan approval process for Transit Village, it was discussed and represented on a lot of the plans that the FPL easements would be vacated or abandoned. And within this submittal for the replat, it still shows these easements to remain. So I just wanted to clarify what is happening with the FPL easement and these pole locations.
So that's being finalized. This is really setting up the boundary plat, Chris, so that we can do the conveyance without creating any problems with the subdivision ordinance, so that we can close with the county. And then when we get the final engineering plans, and then we had discussed with Vince and Nancy that we would end up replatting or doing by separate instrument any subsequent easement issues, so that they'll end up being redone later, but we need this done now so that we can end up closing, so we can actually figure out where all the things get built.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know if I need to go around the room for everybody. I'm not sure which of the department's division will have any comments on that. Anybody got any comments, Vince?
Vince Noel Surveying. Brian, as we spoke yesterday, I'll be issuing a separate plat comments letter. I also spoke about the overlap along Banyan Boulevard that I'm asking your surveyor and the surveyor for Banyan Boulevard to discuss.
Who was the surveyor for Banyan?
Brown and Phillips did the maintenance map and the surveying. Caulfield Wheeler did the construction staking for the contractor.
So which one do you think would be best to talk to based on your history there?
I would say Brown and Phillips.
Okay.
Because Caulfield and Wheeler pretty much used the control that was established by Brown and Phillips for them to do the construction work. I would imagine that that's what they did. So, and the Brown and Phillips seems to match what Caulfield and Wheeler staked out as well too. So.
Okay. Well, I think Dave Lidberg's on, and we'll get with him and we'll get with them. Do you have a sense of when you'll have the written comments to us so we can keep this moving? We want to try to turn it as quickly as possible. As I mentioned, we're going to have some other tweaks that the county have given us just to, on some of the language that is specific to them, but those aren't major.
I'll try to get something out to you next week. You know, I saw there was a 3-parcel plat. I thought at one time when we had discussed it was actually going to be a 2-parcel. So I just got to see where some of these other parcels. It looked a little different than what I was expecting after our meeting with Andrew.
Yeah.
A couple months back. So I was just surprised when I saw the configuration of it, how that had changed. So, but I'll try to get you something out next week.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vince.
Anybody else? To comment on this? Okay.
Yes, Ben, I'd
Brian.
like to place an order to pick up, please.
I don't think we can
Can
deliver to
you
you.
please do it yourself?
Yeah, Ben.
I don't deliver.
A half a pound of sliced turkey.
I'm getting hungry though.
Yeah, I am hungry. I'm
Pound
at lunch.
of your tuna fish.
Someone
Yes,
needs to
Averett.
mute, please.
Mr. Averett, he needs to mute.
Did I mute
There he
them?
goes.
There you
All
go.
right. Is there anything else on Transit Village?
Unless we should order too.
Okay.
Look,
No,
when
you're
we
all set.
have, we'll try to put a deli in for you though, in some of our commercial. That's the message I just got. Is there anything else?
Okay. All right, let's move on to the
Number 2.
next. Number
Thank
2
you.
is Linda.
Thank you all.
Okay, hi everyone. So this is item number 2 on the agenda. It's planning board case number 1955. It's a request for an abandonment of a 225-foot square foot portion of an existing public alley right-of-way that's adjacent to the Temple Israel property. For zoning, I do not have any major concerns with regards to this application.
Okay. And I'm going to do a complicated review of this one also. Anybody have any comments on this one besides Vince? Okay, go ahead, Vince. Mr. Vince.
Vince Noel survey. The easement abandonment information that was in the application is actually being handled by a separate engineering permit or application. So I'm handling that one. That will go to commission for the 2 abandonments reserved utility easements over the parcels that were being abandoned. So those have to be terminated. The question I had, one of my comments was the language that AT&T had and FP&L as to their existing facilities. You need to take a look at those letters because AT&T did not agree to the abandonment because they have facilities in it. So FP&L worded theirs a little different, saying that if you're willing to relocate it, then they agree to the abandonment. So we would need a consent from the applicant saying that they agree to FP&L's conditions of abandonment, that they will pay for the relocation. If you can get AT&T to rephrase their letter accordingly, then we can proceed. Otherwise, we'd have to reserve a utility easement over it if we did abandon it, which is not gonna help you any. So other than that, I basically think this abandonment was just a leftover from the other 2. I mean, it's only a 15 by 15 foot square or 20 by 25, whatever it was. I honestly think it was always intended to be abandoned, so I'm not sure whether we need to go through the whole abandonment process of getting an appraisal and everything else for a 15-foot square, which should have gone. It was just forgotten over the last 2. I think it was just scrivener's error or whatever that created this donut hole in the middle of the property. So that was it.
Thank you. Yeah, I saw the comments. I got confirmation from the applicant that they agreed to AT&T and FP&L's conditions in their letters, and I've requested revised letters from all of them, but we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
All right, anybody else got a comment? Okay, ready to work with Linda and Vince? And those comments in. Going to number 3, Claudia.
Yeah, so this is a formal site plan review, case number 23-04. This property is located at 500 Clearwater Park, and this is asking for 2 variances for the development of a 23-story residential building. Some of my comments are related to the FAR calculations and parking calculations that might be a little off. But, you know, as we all know or are aware of, there is an easement in the
east side of the property that is driving the development to be tight. And there's also some drain lines in the front of the actual property that might also need to revise some of the landscaping in that area. Other comments obviously are in the system, and yeah, feel free to contact me if you have any questions.
Okay. Go around the room on this one. Let's start with, surveying bid.
Surveying and engineering's comments are in the system. Like Claudia said, some of the concerns were the existing drainage in the right-of-way right in front of the property is going to conflict with the proposed landscaping. Some landscaping on the south side might also interfere with the proposed meter assemblies and whatnot, so we just need to see those utilities shown on the landscape plan. And the easement in the rear, which has the 36-inch water main, needs to be taken with that as when it comes to any demolition of existing parking lot, construction of the building. So we'll need to take a look at that closely when it gets to that time. But other than that, our other comments are in the system.
Okay. Mark?
I had several review comments, but Vince covered already the ones that I was most concerned about.
Okay. Robert?
Yeah, got my comments in the system, like the other three. Emphasis on that 36-inch main and an ERP of some sort that could be provided would be very nice. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, Matt?
Our comments are in the system. We are asking to see level of service analysis and then indicating the staging location for bulk trash.
Okay. Tracy?
And my comments in the system as well, just want to point out one, there's filtration proposed within the garage, that there's sufficient vertical clearance for maintenance vehicles to get in there to clean out the catch basins and possibly dig up the trench when it's no longer functioning.
Okay. Larry or traffic?
Traffic comments will be posted tomorrow by Monday the latest.
Okay. Robert Brown Bill?
I passed the review. I have some informational comments that I made. There should be at least one van accessible parking space. Parking spaces are shown, and based on the number that are required, one should be a van accessible. If you are providing electric vehicle charging stations, then one of those needs to be in accessible parking space. The parking garage is going to be enclosed to give some thought to noise attenuation for the mechanical ventilation equipment, as we've had complaints in the city before regarding the noise, constant noise. Provided a list of separate permits that are required for when you're applying for the building permits. With the site being quite constrained, contracted vehicle parking is going to be, so you'll need to provide to the engineering services your construction staging plan, so that they can see what provision you've made for parking. Also, with the proximity to adjacent properties, after when they come on board, allow for protection of the neighboring properties so that we don't get complaints here at the city. And I've provided the contact information for Sabile Welfer on the parking public places, so you can reach out to her. Options for wildlife, meeting the wildlife requirement. That's it.
Okay. Nancy, anything from law?
No.
Have nothing from planning, Rick?
Just wanted to mention, pursuant to the schedule I sent out last week, the deadline for resubmittal will be May 11th. We will then conduct a sufficiency review to make sure that all the comments addressed by all the members of the PPRC have been sufficiently addressed. And then presuming they have been addressed, we'll bring you to the DBA meeting, the DAC meeting of July 12th. And I just emphasize what Robert touched upon, the art light component, please don't wait to the last minute to identify where the arc light, requirement will be met. We'd like to see that sooner than later, as it might impact the site plan, so the sooner you can identify that, the better. Yep, I'm very excited.
Code requirement.
Sorry?
It's a code requirement to get it done up front.
Yep.
Okay, that concludes all the comments. Does the applicant have any? Oh, have any comments?
Oh.
Skip fire.
I'm sorry.
The most important one.
And Tom, I'm sorry, I forgot to. Okay, go ahead, but never did.
Well, fire has no objections to the site plan. But my comments are reflective of assisting you in the life safety features, and to assist in your permit submittal. And if you should have any communications with those comments, you can reach out to me. My contact information at the bottom of the comments. That's it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Darby, you had any comments on parking?
Well, I mean, Robert kind of led to it, the contractor parking plan is key, because what I see is the contractors park wherever they want, everywhere, and we get calls from the neighborhoods about people parking, doing whatever they want.
All right, I think I got everybody now. Does the applicant have any quick comments, questions?
No, I don't think we have too many at this time. I guess the one, there was a note about the fire department signing off on the setback, that it was acceptable. So I don't know if that needs to be written, or if you can just confirm in the room right now that setback was designed for the building spacing we're proposing.
This is a side setback. I think our code requirement is either 15 minimum or driven by the National Fire, what are they? National Fire.
NFPA.
NFPA standard.
So building code touches on that as well. And you can build right up to the property line if you have, not zoning code, but the building code, if you have fire rated construction. So it depends on what kind of construction and if you window openings or not. One of the comments that I gave, the informational comments that I provided in the system is exactly regarding that building location. So I've referred the design teams to the building code sections that they need to look at for that. And if they have too many, a larger percentage of openings that is required, that is allowed, then they'll already construction. Defaults, building code and building.
Okay, answers your question?
That answers my question, and I think I will hold off. I don't have anything else major. I'll work with the reviewers once all the comments are posted.
Okay. All right, then. On that case. Next case, Chris.
Yeah, this is for the informal site plan review 2101A. This is a minor amendment or site plan amendment to the previous phase of the city approval for the North Railroad Avenue streetscape. My comments are in the system. I'm just going to point out some of the key ones. Your drawings are showing some work that looks to be within either the FEC right-of-way or the town of Palm Beach property. So if that is the case, please provide a more clear survey. The one that was in there is kind of hard to read. But also, if you are doing work in the town of Palm Beach's property or the FEC, please provide that lease agreement and any owner's consent or easements for that work in those properties there. Also included within that is the actual work you're showing. Some kind of diagonal parking schematic south of the 7th Street extension. I would recommend omitting this from this submittal, as it doesn't seem to be really a part of the 7th Street extension. It seems to be an extra site plan. So I would just exclude that from the plans if it's not included. And then you have a on-street passenger drop-off proposed on the southern side of 7th Street. This won't be permitted as that area currently is prohibited with parking or prohibited from parking. And that is a requirement that in order to propose a on-street drop-off, existing parking needs to be there. So please remove that drop-off, and that also adjusts your street tree counts, which at the moment don't meet spacing because of that drop-off. Otherwise, the rest of my comments are in the system and they're pretty standard.
Okay, there goes Vince, surveying.
Surveying and engineering's comments are in the system. Mine pretty much reiterated what Chris had said, we need to see the license agreement with the FEC for the extension that's in there, and then if there is any other further extension on the south side, to see how that's all gonna be accommodated. So, just some more information, it looks like it's required. That was it.
Okay, Mark, up to you.
I just had a few review comments. The main things I recall were that there was some conflicts between landscaping and utilities. And then also there was some differences between looking at the different plan sets. Like there was some sidewalks shown on some, but not on the others. So just check to those.
Okay, Bruce, Public Works.
Our comments on the system, mainly standard comments about pavement markings, complying with city standards and city standards, and also make sure that everything meets ADA compliance.
Okay, then again, Ricardo.
Yeah.
Public Utilities.
I've got my comments uploaded in the system for review.
Tracy, Stormwater.
My comments are posted as well. I just have a question. The hardscape plan showed pavers over the valley gutter, whereas the North Railroad, I think, were taken out. So I just want to confirm that the valley gutter will be topped with pavers.
Yeah, hey Tracy, this is Damian Barr speaking. Yeah, no, North Railroad, actually, the valley gutters do have pavers. The sidewalk is concrete. So the 7th Street extension is really an extension of the North Railroad design as well on hardscape. So there are pavers in the valley gutters shown.
Right, maybe the civil plans need to be updated to show those.
Okay.
Larry, on traffic.
Traffic comments will be posted tomorrow by Monday at the latest.
Robert Building.
And possible review, I didn't have any comments.
Okay. Tom Tompkins. Peter Fire.
No objection, approved. Thank you.
Nancy Law.
No comment.
Don't have any comments, Bruce?
No comments.
Okay, you can work with, Chris on that. Follow the little deadline. And last case is Linda.
Okay, so this is item number 5. It's a two-part request for the Palm Beach River Stone Commercial Plan Development. It's the residential portion, and the abutting parking easement on the east side. So planning board case number 1837 is for the minor PD amendment, and the informal site plan is for the parking easement area. So my comments are posted. I'm just going to go over a few of them. The proposed calculations affect the changes affect the calculations, and therefore all the data must be updated in the approved plans from the PD. The configuration of the parking stalls are irregular, so I do need the measurements and dimensions to be provided in the plan so that staff can determine its feasibility. There are also some minor issues with the site plan, just some cleanup issues such as floating notes that I see in the plan sheet. Regarding the landscape plan, please dimension out that landscape island just south of the trolley pickup area. It doesn't appear to comply with the dimensional requirements for terminal islands. So if that's the case, it'll need to get addressed. And for the architectural elevations, there is a note in the plan sheet that says digital screens to be provided by others. So we had spoke about this in the past. Digital screens are not permitted, so that comment will need to be removed from the elevations. And that's it for zoning.
Okay. Let's go around the room, start with Vince and survey.
Surveying and engineering comments are in the system. My biggest concern was seeing some before and after cross-sections existing proposed. It looks like, according to the topo, which I asked for some clarifications on the survey of the elevations, so what datum they're on. It looks like you're filling it probably about 2 feet in that area from what the existing elevations are. So we'd like to see what the cross-sections down to the water looks like now and what it's gonna look like afterwards.
Okay. Just had one question for Linda. Linda, on the consistency with the site plan sheets, do you want all the sheets that's part of the master plan for Riverstone for the PD to be included with the resubmittal and those shown now, or do you want that as part of the major?
I mean, it should be updated with every application that you submit for. So whatever sheets that you amend should, and it affects the calculations, those tables should be updated to reflect the latest changes that you are making.
Okay. That was my only question, and we'll work on getting your cross sections, Vince.
Okay, Mark, public utilities?
No comment.
Okay, Otto,
No comments.
Bruce,
No comment.
Tracy, Stonewater?
My comments are in the system is, I didn't see any civil plans, just the one site plan. If we could add the information requested.
I'm sorry, who was that?
Stonewater,
Tracy
Tracy,
Ward.
Stonewater.
Oh,
For him, they didn't see any civil plans.
I didn't see any engineering plans, just the site plan.
we provided a paving and landscape plan. Are you speaking to the the offsite in the easement parcel? Is that-
Correct, the widened sidewalk and the landscaping.
Was the paving and landscaping plan we provided, do you want additional information on there?
Yes.
Okay, we'll look at it. Thank you.
Letter of traffic?
Traffic comments will be provided tomorrow, Monday at the latest.
Okay, Robert, Brown Building?
No comment.
Town parking?
No comment.
Cedar Fire?
No objections.
Okay, we have Nancy Long?
I haven't seen the plan, so I don't really understand expand the parking lot into the city's parking easement, so I don't know whether there's a issue or not, so.
We are sitting on top of it.
Huh?
Sitting on top of it.
Okay, got it, and it's the plan like any agreement, so I know what's going on.
Okay, yeah.
I have no comments, and Rick?
I got gas at the Wawa this morning, we'd like to see the prices reduced by.
Linda, it's Brian Chuckis, real fast. In terms of the radial parking, we'll get you those dimensions. It's tough because we're on that circle, but we're confident that when we show you the dimensions, everything will vet itself out.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, it just looked a little irregular as it was drawn in the plan, so, I mean, they didn't look even.
Super cool, super cool.
Okay.
Definitely, great.
Okay. All right, then you go ahead and.
Thanks.
Go ahead. Work with Linda on that case. And the last case is Valentina.
Okay, so for case PB 1954, it's for a right-of-way abandonment of an existing public right-of-way. It's located on the southernmost side of Lake Drive, which is Linton Court. It's 2,500 square foot portion. Zoning comments are in the system, and nothing further for zoning.
Okay, go around the room, Vince.
Survey comments are in the system. Engineering has rejected it and does not want to proceed with the abandonment. Upon review of the Linton Court parking situation and the apartments on the north side of at the north end of Lake Avenue. They're looking at improving that south T turnaround.
Listening to it, I am too. But I don't even know if they've come to your
Yeah.
project yet, because I couldn't hear it in the beginning. Now I can hear it, but have they talked about it yet? Yeah,
Yeah.
well, Todd is
Mute
still
again.
on, so obviously we haven't. I think you
Yeah.
would jump.
If you can please mute
I
your
got it.
microphone, please.
I got it. Okay.
So, anyways, that was the comment from engineering. They're looking at paving that situation to help with the T turnaround for sanitation and everything else, since it was brought up and more looked at. They've had issues down there turning around with this, just an L turnaround instead of a T turnaround. So it looks like it's going to be made into a project here shortly. So.
Okay. Mark, any comment?
No comment.
Ricardo?
I had no comments.
Bruce?
Well, the only comment that we have, we're not sure what's gonna happen to that site, but there is a container that's, we do service in that area, so we wish to reserve the rights to use this for sanitation collection in the future.
Container on the property?
It's right in the corner of that.
On the northeast corner of the school.
Northeast, yes.
Oh, yeah, but it's not on this portion.
Yeah, it's on the other
The
side.
south portion, it's on the other portion, yeah.
Safety, stormwater?
No comments.
Okay, Valero traffic?
So, Vince already mentioned portion of our comments. The traffic engineering is not supportive, not recommending the requested abandonment. As a matter of fact, due to the compelling lack of on-street residential parking in the neighborhood, as well as the reported sanitation vehicles maneuvering issues, the city has already started the proceedings of repaving and restriping that portion of the cul-de-sac.
Okay, Robert Building, any comment?
No comment.
Town parking? Diesel do, fire?
No objections.
Nancy Long?
Well, if the property is needed for city purposes, it cannot be abandoned.
Okay. Probably know that. Meredith, you on the ears off? You can let Harvey know.
I understand the comments. I'll convey it to the applicants. Just a quick question though, has the work already commenced, for clearing that right of way and paving it, or do you have a definitive timeline? Because he's probably gonna ask that question.
Work has not started, actual construction work. We are basically in the design phase.
Okay, so it's still a while out.
It will be happening sooner than later, because it's just a matter of, clearing, repaving, and restriping.
Okay.
Okay. More questions, Meredith?
No, ma'am, thank you.
That's everyone for CPRC, with your, project manager. And, have a good day. Now, let me tell you about.
Okay, so,
The history.
so Angela, you get maybe a C+ for facilitator, okay? You're gonna have to work on that, the John Road skills, you know what I mean? Going down the list in an orderly fashion.
Just use the
You know what I mean?
moment,
So-